Good evening, everybody, and welcome. I'd like to ask those who can, please stand for the beginning of our ceremony. Thank you, and if you'd please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem.
Our home and native land, true patriot love, in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, our true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, and please be seated. So good evening. I am City Manager Tim Simmons. I'm pleased to welcome you here this evening to the inaugural meeting of Owen Sound City Council for the 2022-2026 term of City Council. I'll be your MC this evening for this portion of the inaugural ceremony. I'd like to begin this evening with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge with respect the history, spirituality, and culture of the Anishinaabe peoples on whose traditional territories we gather and whose ancestors signed treaties with our ancestors. We recognize also the Métis and Inuit whose ancestors shared this land and these waters. May we all, as treaty people, live with respect on this land and live in peace and friendship with all of its diverse peoples. As we move into the inaugural ceremony, I'd like to take a minute just to thank a few people that have been instrumental this evening. First, I'd like to pay special thanks to Piper Bill Millman, leading the council procession this evening. Bill, as many of you know, traveled the world for piping competitions and played in bands that have won North American championships. He He is also a retired fire chief from the City of Owen Sound Fire and Emergency Services. I also want to thank Bailey for welcoming us tonight with our national anthem. Thank you, Bailey. And I'd like to thank the Royal Canadian Legion Color Party led by Sergeant-at-Arms Mo Boyer for presenting the colors this evening. Finally, I also want to pay special tribute to our city clerk, Brianna Bloomfield, and her team, who worked tirelessly to really make tonight a special event. So thank you to all. In just a few minutes, our council-elect will rise to complete their declaration of office. And before they do so, I would like to say on behalf of the citizens and businesses of Owen Sound and our administration, we congratulate and thank each of you for your commitment and dedication to working together constructively and always in the best interest of the city. Faith, trust, and confidence in municipal government are fundamental. Together, we must be mindful that it's a privilege to serve. And the citizens of Owen Sound have elected you to represent them and to lead our community. It will be your responsibility to set the vision and policy for the next 4 years and beyond, and it is the role of our professional administration to implement it. And rest assured, our administration will continue working to build value for taxpayers' hard-earned dollars and the ability to safeguard investments for the quality public services we rely on each and every day. Now, each member of council will complete the declaration of office. It is my pleasure to ask the Honorable Justice Julia Morneau to come forward and preside over the declaration ceremony.
Good evening and welcome to this inaugural council meeting. It is my honor and it's always wonderful to have a repeat invitation. So I'm very pleased to be back to perform this very important role by accepting the declaration of office from your council. And we'll start with our mayor, Mr. Ian Body.
I, Ian Body, having been elected to the office of Mayor in the municipality of the City of Owen Sound, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty the King, Charles III, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is in the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Congratulations. Yes, Mr. Scott Gregg, our new deputy mayor.
I, Scott Gregg, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor in the municipality of the City of Owen Sound, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Yes, the next is Travis Dodd.
Great. I, Travis Dodd, having been elected to the office of Councillor in the municipality of the City of Owen Sound, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act, and I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration consciously believing to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Congratulations. Mr. John Farmer.
I, John Farmer, having been elected to the office of Councillor in the municipality of the City of Owen Sound, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
New Councillor Brock Joseph Hamlin.
I, Brock Joseph Hamley, having been elected to the office of Councillor in the municipality of the City of Owen Sound, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Congratulations, Brooke. Miss Marion Kepke.
I, Marion Kepke, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the City of Owen Sound, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Congratulations, Marion. Sonique Crocagian.
I, Sunit Kukreja, having been elected to the office of Councillor in the municipality of the City of Owen Sound, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipality Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration consciously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Miss Carol Merton.
I, Carol Merton, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the City of Owen Sound, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty, King Charles III, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Congratulations, Carol. Thank you. Miss Melanie Middlebrook.
I, Melanie Middlebrow, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the City of Owen Sound, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Thank you, Justice Murnau. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your Owen Sound City Council for 2022-2026. At this time, I'd like to now call upon council to come up and give a few remarks. I'll start with Mayor Ian Boddy.
Sorry, Brianna. Good evening. It's first of all, I want to acknowledge I'm back in Knox United Church again. The first time I was this close to the altar, I would have been baptized, and given it's not a church anymore, I guess I don't have to worry about the last time that I'll get this close to the altar. We used to sit up there. There was Eddie Sargent family and Councillor Bob Gallen and family, and we sat third pew down from the back because we could sneak up the back stairs because we were never here on time. And the goal was always to get here before Eddie did. If we got here after Eddie, then we knew we were really late. So Brianna, staff, I learned from the best how to get there just at the right moment. So it's an incredible honor to stand here before you this evening as we take our first step as a new council, to bring on what we've started, or to build on what we've started and advance our vision for our city. I would like to begin by thanking our community for their confidence in me and for a renewed mandate to serve as mayor for a third term. I'm ready to continue my role to lead our city and to attract ideas, investment, and people to our community. I would like to congratulate my returning councillor colleagues and to welcome our three new councillors, John, Sunit, and Melanie, to the council table. Having had a chance to meet all of them in the last, or the three new ones especially, over the last week, I have no doubt that our community has chosen an outstanding group of people to govern, to establish vision, to represent and serve the residents of Owen Sound over the next 4 years. So I'm very pleased to welcome Judge Marno here again for this event, and we're glad she's here with us. I'm not sure if Chief Veronica Smith from Saugeen Ojibwe Nation was able to. Oh, welcome. We're very pleased to see you here. Thank you very much for coming. I see Sue Carlton and Deputy Mayor Grant Pringle from Georgian Bluffs, and CAO Kim Wingrove from Grey County. So welcome all of you. We all share an interest in protecting our environment for generations to come. I look forward to working together with all of you to share ideas, knock down barriers, and find ways to work together to share ideas and that will benefit all of our residents. Many of the decisions we make at Council will affect our future. So much of what we have today is determined by councils led by previous mayors. So I wish to acknowledge and thank Ovid Jackson and Verona Jackson for being here tonight. I think of Stu Taylor, who is unable to come, Ruth Lovell Stanners, and Deborah Haswell, who also sent their regrets that they were not able to come. We thank you very much for your service to the city of Owen Sound and showing us the way to go forward. Especially Ovid, I don't know how many years as councillor, mayor, and then 11 years as the member of parliament for Grey Bruce Owen Sound. I think it was at the time. It may be changed in there. We thank you very much for your leadership. It's clear the progress we've made together over the last 8 years has created momentum, a sense that we are pushing forward and embracing our future, where our city is embracing the changes and the growth we see happening in our world around us. While we should be proud of what we've achieved, our vision is not to coast on these successes, but to build on them, to imagine new possibilities for our great city. With the support of our community, we will confidently pursue opportunities to make our city and region better. We will make informed decisions on how to best spend taxpayers' money. We will seek prosperity and a healthy community for future generations. We will set the vision and policy for the next 4 years and beyond for our professional administration to implement. We will be diligent and determined. We will set goals and take steps to bring our net municipal levy per capita into the mid-range relative to other municipalities across the province during this term. We will set acceptable budget increases for each of the 4 years of the term in advance to provide certainty to city taxpayers that they can depend on to be able to plan their finances. We will invite our neighbors to have serious discussions to share services and share costs in a way that is fair, efficient, and in the best interest of all of our taxpayers, no matter where they live within our communities. We will continue to build better relationships with the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation. We will continue to welcome new Canadians to our community. We will set goals and pursue new hospitality, commercial and industrial development, and attract jobs in clean energy, food processing, medical treatment, and research. We will develop, follow, and fund a fully functioning business attraction strategy. This is the third inaugural speech that I've stood here and said that. While we have started to attract residential development, we need to take serious steps like all other successful growing municipalities have implemented. We cannot continue to wait and see and wait for it to happen. We've got to take strong strides going forward. We will continue to consider how we communicate with and hear from our community. We'll continue to pursue strategic initiatives with an eye to the future and ensure that our regional community is the best place to live for generations to come. On a personal note, we lawyers get beaten out of us trying to bury our emotions because we're often dealing with tough situations with clients. And sometimes it's hard to say thank you to the people we love without making a mess and spilling ourselves over the pages. So I'm so lucky to come from the home that I do, and I very much thank Joan and Hamish for the love and support they give me. They put up with me when I come home with a head full of steam. For 12 years, so from the time Hamish was 12 to he's 24 now. I've been really an absentee father. You know, I've been out at meetings and doing things, and Joan and Hamish have done a great job raising him. I'm so proud of his accomplishments, his ability to learn from his experiences, and the wisdom he has far beyond his years, and certainly far beyond the years that I had at the age of 24. John and Hamish allow me to leave every day worry-free and make commitment to our community. I also want to, thanks. I also want to say thanks to Shannon and Michelle that look after me and take care of me at my law office and allow me to share my attention in both jobs. I wouldn't be able to do it without them. Thank you to all my friends in the community who provide advice, support, and sometimes pretty strong feedback, keeping me in line. To our council, we will make the best decisions we can based on all the information provided to us. There will be times that each of us will have to say no to people that we care about and our friends in the community. Not every decision we make will be popular. Some decisions may not be popular with anyone. But we will make every decision we believe to be in the best interest of our community as a whole. We will strive to leave our community better than today when we started. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor Boddy. I'd now like to ask Deputy Mayor Scott Gregg to come forward.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for attending this evening, and for those viewing at home, thank you very much for tuning in and participating in tonight's inaugural meeting. Thank you to staff for facilitating the evening tonight, particularly to the clerks and IT department for their additional efforts hosting here at the Harmony Center. Thank you to the community of Owen Sound for your support demonstrated during the election, providing me the opportunity to be your deputy mayor. Thank you to my family for their support over the last 8 years to work for residents as your councillor, and particularly to my wife Tracy for her ongoing support to enable me to put forth my best efforts as councillor and now deputy mayor. I'm extremely enthusiastic for the next 4 years. I will work to convince council for one-year committee terms to allow us to better align our committee structure to the implementation of the service review and new strategic plan, including advocating for a transit subcommittee to maximize our public transit service. I am confident council will enhance the scrutiny at budget to maximize oversight on expenditures and projects. We are fortunate as a community with our capacity for growth, and I'm excited for this council to advance sustainable development, critical for housing needs, utilizing resources already built, and to respond competitively to tightening economical conditions. We will work on housing, doctor recruitment, jobs, development, and taxes, and we will strive to be a great employer. And yes, I will support paper ballots being part of the next municipal election. I am humbled for the opportunity to serve residents and to work with this council, who will have their sleeves rolled up every day working for this community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Gregg. Now I'd like to call Councillor Dodd.
Sorry, I suffer from the short femur syndrome, so we got to keep moving this microphone. I apologize. But what a feeling, right? And there's something magical about this evening, and it's always been. This is the third time I've been fortunate enough to be here, but it's something magical to be up here, and the feeling that you get inside on this special day, the excitement of not knowing what's coming, but the excitement of knowing there's going to be a new path forward, which is fantastic. So it is incredibly special to be standing here tonight, and I'm extremely honored and humbled to continue being your representative over the next 4 years. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the residents of Owen Sound for once again placing their trust in me and giving me the opportunity to represent your priorities at the council table. I promise to continue to look at all decisions with the best information before me, maintaining an open mind, and work collaboratively with my fellow councillors. So when I was knocking on doors or going out for coffees or just stopping to discuss this election with people on the street, there was always a similar underlying message that came through these discussions. Whether it was housing or waste management, tourism, emergency services, physician and nurse recruitment, or recreational agreements, I think that what we need to do and what we need to saw in that underlining message was we need to place a high emphasis on how we can work with our regional partners through a regional lens for a long-term sustainability and affordability, not only for the City of Owen Sound, but for Grey County as a whole. So I'm really actually appreciative to see members of Georgian Bluff staff and council here this evening, because I think it's going to be really interesting to see how we can work together to start looking at some of the services that are being provided. So clearly this is an issue. Like I wasn't aware that you were going to be here, so I wrote you, I made your note anyways. But clearly this is an issue that has risen in our surrounding municipalities as well, and I welcome the future discussions to be had on this matter, and something that I promise to strive for as we progress over the next 4 years. I'd also like to acknowledge 3 former colleagues and friends, Deputy Mayor O'Leary, Councillor Tamming, and Councillor Thomas. It's been an honor to be able to work with each of you over the past numbers of years, and I know personally I have learned principles from each of you that has helped me grow as a leader and a person, so I thank each one of them. They each brought forward a unique perspective to the council table, which will be missed. However, I want to thank each of them for their continued commitment to our community. Finally, I'd like to thank my family and friends, and most importantly, my wife Alexa, who have supported and offered encouragement over the last 8 years. There's this illusion that being a member of council is an individual decision. It definitely is not. It is a decision that our friends, family, and spouses also wear at times. And that could be at the grocery store, that could be anywhere. So I think we all need to give them a round of applause, the family, friends, and spouses who come in every single day, listen to, like Mayor Boddy noted, listen to the venting, listen to the tax ratio discussions. So I'm going to start it off, and I thank everyone. Alexa. If it wasn't for those special people, I know I would not be able to be here tonight, and I'm sure that would go for many others. But I thank you all for believing in me. Most importantly, Alexa, thank you for being you. You're always there for me when I need to vent, and you're always there to listen to me talk about some obscure policy that very few couples ever think about while on vacation. So to my fellow councillors, congratulations. I look forward to working with each of you over the next 4 years, and the fun is just about to begin. So congratulations and thank you so much.
Thank you, Councillor Dodd. I'd like to now call upon Councillor Farmer.
Well, this is a first for me, and standing at the foot of what I'm sure is going to be a rather steep learning curve, I'm so excited for this work, and nervous, and grateful, and really looking forward to working with council, working with staff, and the community. I owe a huge thank you to everyone who helped to bring me to this point, especially my partner Brianna, friends and family, the many volunteers that helped me campaigning and knocking on doors, and all the folks who trusted me with their votes. There's a lot of good work for us to do in order to make Owen Sound have the greatest possible quality of life for the greatest possible number of people, both immediately and for generations to come. If we're learning from the wisdom of our neighbors, for 7 generations to come. And I know that although we face substantial challenges in a lot of ways, that the answer to almost every challenge that we're facing is a relationship. I look forward to working with you, I look forward to getting to know you, and I'm really excited, so thank you, and thanks to friends and family. I look forward to chatting afterwards. Except for those of you online, we can't talk afterwards, but please be in touch. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Councillor Farmer. I'd now like to call Councillor Hamley.
Good evening and thank you. I'd like to start by saying congratulations to my fellow council mates. I'm looking forward to working together over the next 4 years to make Owen Sound an even better place. To my family and friends, thank you for the unconditional love, support, and encouragement you have given me during my first 4 years on council and during the election. It means the absolute world to me. And most importantly, thank you to the residents of Owen Sound. I am incredibly grateful for the trust that you have once again bestowed in me, and I'm excited to get to work on the many enormous tasks ahead of us, because I'm optimistic about this council's ability to address them. On the surface, solving issues like high tax rates and homelessness and housing couldn't appear to be more opposite, but I would argue they are merely the symptoms of the wider problem. That problem is our economy. Municipalities to the west of Owen Sound have Bruce Power and have leveraged it to their advantage. Municipalities to the east of us have incredible outdoor recreational opportunities and have leveraged it to their advantage. But here in Owen Sound, we've been stuck in second gear for as long as I can recall. It's not to say that there hasn't been successes here in Owen Sound, but unlike other communities, there is no unifying strategy that drives economic growth. There is no value proposition. I believe that we as a council need to identify what that unique proposition is, build a strategy around it, and relentlessly pursue that strategy. This won't be easy, but if we do, commercial and industrial tax revenues will go up, residential taxes will level off, and we will have more resources to deal with issues like homelessness and housing. But most importantly, if we get this right, our community will be a much, much better place for current and future generations to call home. And that is exactly what each and every one of us was elected to do. So let's get to it. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Councillor Hamley. I'd like to now call upon Councillor Kepke.
Being a member of council is a rewarding, humbling, and opportunistic experience. One of the first things you learn is that there are times when you can only please some of the people some of the time. The decisions you advance should be the ones you believe in, decisions you feel are best for your municipality, knowing that all municipalities are not created equal. For me, municipal work has been my life, one in which I am proud and most pleased to continue for the good of Owen Sound. Council members and staff all have a very close relationship with the public during an election campaign. Members of council have a heightened attention to the public and hear many ideas. Council is entering a new term with these ideas, plans, and campaign promises fresh on their minds. We stand before you tonight, each with our own ideas and our promises. This term of council will be measured by its accomplishments and held accountable by the electorate for the decisions that they make. I encourage healthy engagement by the citizens of Owen Sound. You live here. You financially support the initiatives and infrastructure requirements, so you need to get involved. Speak up and let your thoughts be known. I extend sincere appreciation to those who supported me and to the electorate who had the confidence to advance me for a third term. Congratulations to all the candidates for taking such a brave and courageous step forward. Thank you to my family and friends, and in particular, my husband Gord, who has supported me once again to pursue my passion, to be involved because I care. I look forward to working with the members of the new council, staff partners, investors, and ratepayers by continuing my service for the City of Owen Sound, a place I am so proud to call my home. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kepke. I'd now like to ask Councillor Kukreja to come to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. Today I take this opportunity to stand here in front of you to thank each and every one of you who have been here despite this awful weather. First of all, the awesome support from the staff today to be able to organize this awesome event. I am truly humbled, and I thank all the voters who gave me this opportunity to be here today and to be a part of this honorable council. I strongly believe in the power of collaboration and teamwork, and I totally believe that this community has huge potential to collaborate, and at the same time, I do look forward to this excellent team that I have right here, and I totally believe that together the city, and it'll give me the opportunities and work in a positive direction. So again, I take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you, each and every one of people, community members, folks sitting at home, my co-workers, my family, especially some of my co-workers who are here as well, my family who's here. So again, I'm humbled, and I take this privilege to say thank you to all of you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kukreja. Now I'd like to ask Councillor Merton.
I am honored to stand before you this evening with a deep sense of humility and gratitude. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to the voters who have placed their trust and confidence in me to be a representative voice on council. To all of those who demonstrated courage by putting their names forward for public service in this election, I have learned from each and every one of you. To the small and mighty campaign team, family, friends, and colleagues who supported me in so many ways in this great adventure. The advice, mentorship, trust, and confidence you gave to me continues to be a priceless gift. I look forward to working with the mayor, my fellow councilors, city staff, and the members of the public as I continue to serve this city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Merton. Now, Councillor Middlebrough.
Thank you, everyone. I'm truly honored to be here tonight, and I'd like to thank the voters who have shown their trust in me to be their voice on council. I'd also like to thank my family and friends and everyone who helped on my campaign. I am forever grateful for your support. Congratulations to my fellow councilors. I am very excited for this term. I look forward to rigorous debates, bold ideas, to solve the issues facing Owen Sound, and to be the visionaries to see Owen Sound grow and develop to be the economic driver of this region. Thank you again for this amazing opportunity, and I'm ready for the challenge.
Thank you, Council Middlebrough, and thank you to all members of council and the mayor for those remarks. On behalf of our Member of Parliament, Alex Ruff, who couldn't be here tonight, I'd like to share his remarks on his behalf. Dear His Worship Mayor Body, Deputy Mayor Gregg, and councillors, I was honored to be invited to attend the inaugural meeting of this council term for the City of Owen Sound and regret not being able to attend. I would like to start by reflecting on the words of Albert Einstein, who said that only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. In choosing to serve on your city council, you have made a choice that comes with many sacrifices, but also the rewards that come with community service. Thank you for stepping up and lending your wisdom to the city in the term ahead. Next, for the fresh faces around the table, I would like to offer some wisdom as you embark on your political career. Always be true to yourself and your constituents. Never compromise your principles while keeping an open mind. Respect everyone's point of view, and when you face hardship, remember why you started this journey in the first place. Finally, I will close by saying that I look forward to meeting you, corresponding with you, and, most importantly, working to make our community a better place in the years ahead. I look forward to seeing what your talented and dedicated council will accomplish. Yours in service, Alex Ruff, MP. Next, I'd also like to share the remarks on behalf of our Member of Provincial Parliament, Rick Byers, who also sends regrets that he couldn't be here tonight. As your Member of Provincial Parliament for Bruce Grey, Owen Sound, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for the invitation to attend the 2022 City of Owen Sound's inaugural council meeting tonight. On that note, I am sending regrets that I'm unable to attend due to commitments at Queen's Park. Congratulations on your successful election. As a colleague who is proud to serve the public, I know firsthand what it means to put your name on the ballot and to be responsible and accountable once you have been bestowed with this special privilege and honor. It is my belief it is dedicated people like you who help to shape and make our community a better place to live, work, and play. And I commend you for stepping forward for the benefit of others. It is my hope that each of you, as well as collectively, will enjoy your experience and will take pride in the history of your municipality and your council, that your leadership will ensure the continued well-being and prosperity of the City of Owen Sound. I look forward to working with you all in the future. Thank you and your families for your efforts and dedication. I wish you every success in your term of office. Sincerely, Rick Byers, MPP. So, as we come to a close of our ceremony, would the color party please prepare to march off colors? Thank you, and you may be seated. As we now prepare for the council meeting, we will enjoy the sounds of local musicians, who I invite back to the stage, Bailey Rugrock and Kyle Davis. And before we turn the stage over to them right now, I'd just like to remind you that following the completion of the council meeting this evening, please join council and others for a reception in the common rooms, and that's to my right or your left. Thank you.
For having us. It's been an honor to get to play for you guys. This is my friend Kyle, and we're going to start off with a song by the Lumineers. This is called Cleopatra.
I'm going to play for you the tuning song first. I was going to do that before, but couldn't interrupt all the bagpipes. So you guys are out.
Thank you so much.
I was Cleopatra, I was young and an actress, when you knelt by my mattress and asked for my hand. But I was sad, you asked it, as I laid in a black dress with my father in a casket. I had no plans. footprints, the mud stain on the carpet, and it hardened like my heart did when you left town. But I was sad, you asked it, as I laid in a black dress with my father in a casket. I had no plan, but I was late for this, late for that, late for the love of my life. And when I die alone, I'll be on time. While the church discouraged any lust that burned within me, yes, my flesh was my currency, but I held true. And so I drive a taxi, and the traffic distracts me from the strangers in my backseat that remind me of you. But I was late for this, late for that, late for the love of my life. And when I die alone, I'll be on time. And the only gifts from my Lord were birth and a divorce. But I've read this script and the costume fits, so I'll play my part. I was Cleopatra, I was taller than the rafters, but that's all in the past now, gone with the wind. And now a nurse in white shoes leads me back to my guest room. It's a bed and a bathroom, and a place for the end. And I won't be late for this, late for that, late for the love of my life. And when I die alone, I'll be on time. Thank you very much. The next song that we're going to do is really fun, and I think it's fun because I think everybody has their own kind of twist to put on it, and this is my little twist on it. This is Don't Think Twice. Ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe, if you don't know by now. Ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe, it'll never do somehow. When your rooster crows at the break of dawn, well, look out your window and I'll be gone. Traveling on, but don't think twice, it's alright. Ain't no use in turning on your light, babe, the light I never known. Ain't no use in turning on your light, babe, I'm on the dark side of the road. I wish there was something you might do or say to try and make me change my mind and stay. Well, we never did too much talking anyway, but don't think twice, it's alright. like you never done before. Ain't no use in calling out my name, boy. I can't hear you anymore. I'm thinking and wondering, walking down the road. I once loved a man, a child I am told. Well, gave him my heart, but he wanted my soul. But don't think twice, it's alright. So long, honey, babe. Where I'm bound, I cannot tell. But goodbye is too good a word, babe. So I'll just say fairly well. I was saying you treated me unkind. Well, you could have done better, but oh, I don't mind. You just kind of wasted my precious time, but don't think twice, it's alright. Don't think twice, it's alright. Well, don't think twice, it's alright.
Thank you very much, and thank you again for having us.
Thank you very much, Bailey and Kyle, for your wonderful performance. We have so much talent in this area, musical artists throughout the whole area, and we're very pleased that you're able to bring your talent in and share it with us tonight. Thank you. We're now turning to the council meeting portion, and I'll begin by asking if there's any additional items. Seeing none, I will have two items of thanks and congratulations of events that have gone on the last little while. Declaration of interest, council, any declarations? Seeing none. Confirmation of the council minutes.
Moved by myself, Deputy Mayor Gregg, seconded by Councillor Dodd, that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on November 7th, 2022 be adopted as printed.
And all in favor? And so that is carried. Number 7, motion to move council into committee of the whole.
Moved by myself, Deputy Mayor Gregg, seconded by Councillor Dodd, that City Council now move into committee of the whole to consider public meetings, deputations and presentations, public question period, matters arising from correspondence, reports of city staff, consent agenda, committee minutes, matters postponed, motions for which notice was previously given, and additional business.
Thanks. All in favor? And that is carried. So we're now in committee of the whole. At number 8 on our agenda, we have no public meetings. At number 9, we have no deputations or presentations. At number 10 is public question period. Assuming everyone's going to wait till the next meeting. At number 11, we have no correspondence items being presented for consideration. Number 12, we have no reports from city staff. And at number 13, the consent agenda.
Within the consent agenda tonight, under item 13A, is minutes of the River District Board of Management meeting held on September 14th, 2022. 13B, community flag flying request from Zonta, Owen Sound and area respecting United Nations International Day for the elimination of violence against women. 13C, final approval issued for the following business license. Blair Streeter is the new owner of the bread depot located at 1750 16th Avenue East. And 13D, correspondence received which is presented for the information of council. Moved by myself that City Council receives items 13A to 13D on the consent agenda dated November 21st, 2022.
Good. Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. If I can go back, I note there's minutes from the River District Board. Councillor Kepke, anything to report?
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a few brief notes on that particular meeting. There was a report from staff which was received and highlighted race and metrics, highlighting the 4 key areas of the strategic plan being River District branding, management, economic development, and promotion. A user-friendly, content-based website has been designed, along with the installation of pedestrian counters and the tracking of vacancy rates, all positive initiatives showing positive results. I'd also like to highlight correspondence forwarded to the Manager of Parks and Open Space, complimenting staff on their diligence in keeping the River District and Harrison Park clean, along with the trail that the visitor attended. It's always good to receive this positive feedback. And that's it, Your Worship. Thank you.
Good. Thanks, Mary. At number 14, we have no committee minutes with recommendations for approval. At number 15, we have no postponed matters. At number 16, we have no motions for which notice was previously given. So that brings us to number 17 in our agenda, and that's additional business. So I want to congratulate and thank our Legion Branch 6 for the Remembrance Day service that was held this year. There was a good turnout. It's good to see the Army Cadets and the Air Cadets rebuilding after a couple of years of COVID, and it's great for kids to learn discipline. I also want to extend a really special thanks to the EMS services who were kept very busy that day with some of those Army Cadets and Air Cadets that perhaps didn't have breakfast before they got there. And finally, a big thank you and congratulations to the Kiwanis Club of Owen Sound, who presented their 77th annual Santa Claus Parade, and weather didn't slow us down. It was pretty good. I think all the kids liked it, and it was very nice going to the second year of night parades and seeing the lights on the floats. And also with that same night, congratulations to the Festival of Northern Lights. We weren't able to shoot off the fireworks with the wind, but I'm sure they'll have a plan of getting those back on, but they got the lights turned on, so it's great for people to be able to go down and wander around the river precinct and see the lights. So thank you to both of those groups. So I'm down to number 18.
Moved by myself, Deputy Mayor Gregg, that the Committee of the Whole rise and report.
All in favor? And that is carried. 19.
Moved by myself, Deputy Mayor Gregg, seconded by Councillor Dodd, that the action taken in Committee of the Whole in considering public meetings, deputations, and presentations, public question period, matters arising from correspondence, reports of city staff, consent agenda, committee minutes, matters postponed, motions for which notice was previously given, and additional business be confirmed by this council.
And all in favor? And that is carried. Number 20, are there any notices of motion being given tonight, Council? For sure? Good. Bylaws, go ahead.
Tonight's bylaws are 21A, the confirmatory bylaw, and 21B, a bylaw to authorize the mayor and clerk to execute amending agreement number 5 to lease CO 108-102 with His Majesty the King and Right of Canada as represented by the Minister of Transport respecting the Westside Boat Launch Facility. Moved by myself, Deputy Mayor Gregg, seconded by Councillor Dodd, that bylaw numbers 2022-111 and 2022-112 be passed and enacted.
Thank you. All in favor? That is carried. So that completes our business for tonight. Again, I want to thank Bailey and Kyle. I want to thank City Manager Tim and Brianna and staff and everyone that pulled tonight together. Thank you to Piper Millman, Legion Branch 6 Color Party, MP Ruff and MPP Byers, as well as Kevin Moyes, who put together the sound for us. Thank you very much. So with that, our business is completed. I don't have a watch on, but 8:10. Our business is completed. We're adjourned. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming.
Indian and the child. It's been called cultural genocide. I survived residential school. My brother Johnny did not.
Chani Wenjack was one of thousands of children who died due to Canada's residential school system. More than 80,000 survivors and their families still live with its legacy today.
October 5th, 2014, my daughter was hit by a train. She was walking along the sides of the tracks, and it shattered her world.
Hi, Lois.
Hello, Diane.
Look where we are now.
I know, it's crazy.
Oh, it is crazy. I'm overwhelmed. We're here at Randy's Records and CDs and tapes.
Yes.
Yes. So we're pretty excited because I love music. Love music and always watching movies. So I can't believe your inventory.
Yeah, it's jam-packed and jelly tight.
Oh, okay. It sure is. So tell us, Randy, when did you start this business?
September 1985.
Wow.
So I've been here for 37 years.
37 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And then, of course, you've got your, what did you call him, your alkaline?
Alkalite.
Alkalite, which is Ryan.
Yep.
Thank
Yes.
you, Ryan.
You're welcome.
And explain to me what an alkalite is.
It's like an apprentice.
I thought it was just energy, like a battery. I wasn't sure.
Not quite.
Now, Ryan's been in your life for quite a while, though, I heard.
Yeah, he used to come in here when he was a kid, and he would skip school, and his mother would call me, and she would say, "Is he there?" And she'd come and get him, drag him out of here.
She's not calling still, though, is she?
No.
No, she's calling him and saying, "Take him." Yeah. But since you were 9 years old.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's definite passion of both of you.
Yes.
Right?
It's nice to find that kindred spirit so that you can actually, you enjoy the same things.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
And we work well together.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why you have a second job.
That's right.
Yeah. I know Ryan. I've known him for a year now.
Yeah.
He's in our building and he works for Leeds. Part-time.
Wow.
Because you're escaping to here on the days right there calling now. Anyway, show us what you've got. Show us.
Okay, so right when you come in here, we have CDs up front here. Whole bunch of them. Okay.
Is there old ones as well as new?
Yeah.
Or
all categories.
all categories. And
Everything you could think of.
Okay.
And more.
So do you buy a lot of these used?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Right now we kind of turning into the CD warehouse, so I have a lot. We're somewhat overstocked, I think. And here we have like some brand new records here. So like we got, Taylor Swift.
Oh, I did not recognize her.
And we got Adele.
So it's all coming back again.
And so some, some classic rock, some heavy metal, some alternative. Yeah.
So I would have thought that vinyl would not have been the in thing anymore, but it's like Lois said, it's coming back.
Well, a bunch of younger people seem to like vinyl.
Okay.
Too. Like the parents like it, and then sometimes one of the kids are into it too.
Okay.
So here we got like comedy. There we got Cheech and Chong.
Oh my gosh. All these albums I had growing up, and
Me too.
I don't know where they've gone.
Here we got.
Maybe they're here.
Here we got classical, George Gershwin.
Wow.
And here we got, there's a big joke about, and here's like orchestra, so there's a big joke about, you go into just about any thrift store, and you're going to see this record.
Really?
Herb Alpert.
And the Tijuana Brass.
Whipped
cream and other delights.
delights.
She's covered in whipped cream.
Yep.
And over here, we have our soundtracks.
What is that?
Phantom of the Paradise.
I've never heard of that.
Nope.
Soundtracks and various artists too.
Oh, is it?
Oh, okay.
Various artists. And of course.
Oh, the K-Tel.
And of course, Grease.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of my favorite.
And over here, that's our just in section where.
And then this rack here, we put some new stuff comes in that's, you know, kind of interesting. Who's not going to like Neil Young?
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He looks young there.
Well, yeah. Yeah, he's older than me.
That's because he is young. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
And here we have Outlaw Country. Here's Waylon Jennings.
Oh, yeah. Right on.
Yeah, put that back. No.
Waylon Jennings?
Oh.
And then we have Pop and Rock starts down at the end there. A to S, S to Z.
The 60s music and the 70s.
S to Z.
I love
Big
your
Canadian
dividers.
section.
They're so
yeah.
cool.
Look at the Canadian section.
And
Edward
then,
Bear.
of course, this was kind of a popular one. Breakfast in America.
Oh, yeah, I had that one. So where did you come up with this idea? That's pretty cool.
Ryan's very artistic. So the way we make the headers is you get your glue gun out and you put glue on the record. Then you let it dry and then you put some letters on there.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
Makes-
that's probably on an album that was all scratched and stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sometimes people want this record though because Whitesnake is really hard to get.
Oh.
Yeah, but they weren't getting that one.
No. Well, that would be worth more now because it's also a piece of art,
Yeah.
Possibly.
right?
Oh yeah.
I don't see why not.
All right. Oh my gosh, look at these little 45s. I remember having those. And I fell one night and I tripped, broke a bunch. Sugarfoot. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
And here we go. We got the singles, the 45s, one song on each side.
Yeah.
And for some of the artists, they only had one good song. So if you got it, that's all you need.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a lot of 45s growing up.
They called them one-hit wonders.
Yes. Yes.
That's funny, Engelbert Humperdinck. I bought my first car was a Firebird, all souped up, and it came with a stock 8-track. And they left the tape in, and it was Engelbert Humperdinck. I'm like, out that went.
My mother.
No doubt.
My mother could never. She loved him,
And
but she could never remember his last
here we
name.
have Canadian stuff. There's Bryan Adams.
Oh, Cuts Like a Knife?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had that one too. I swear you've got my collection in here.
I think so. I think he does too. Oh, who?
So, Ryan, tell me, what's your favorite genre?
My favorite genre. I listen to a lot of classic rock, some heavy metal, some prog rock. I kind of bounce all over the map on that whole
rock?
progressive rock. So when you look through here, just as an example, you got Yes, you got the Strawbs, Alan Parsons Project.
Is that sort of like alternative before alternative?
Basically, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Mr. Dress Up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Casey and Finnegan.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Some Canadian content.
Wow.
Some you don't see very often.
Right?
Do you actually have some Christmas music?
Funny you ask. One of our big sellers for the Christmas season. People are always coming in and looking for this.
Yeah.
They're also looking for Boney M's Christmas album, which I believe we actually have one in stock over here.
White Christmas.
Where the hell did it go?
There it is. You went past it.
Did I?
Yeah, right
There
there.
it
Oh
is.
my God, you know your stuff.
Wow, Randy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if I don't know what to get someone because it's such a
'Cause-
selective,
Because you don't know what's in their collection.
right?
Yes.
Do you offer gift certificates?
We sure do. Popular gift for Christmas and birthdays and other special occasions too.
Are there a lot of people in this area that are record collectors and they
Yes.
come specifically for a certain genre?
Yes,
Really?
and I do have people come from out of town
Ever since
for a
the
visit as well.
the Facebook page became a thing, there's been a lot more customers coming from, Barrie, Toronto, Kitchener, London, just to come to the store because it's some of the stuff we have in here they're not getting at some of their chain stores.
Right, they'd be like a kid in a candy store.
Oh,
They're
absolutely.
in here for hours. Like,
Yeah, true
Yep.
story.
Yes,
Yeah.
sometimes they can spend a while.
yeah,
Yep.
for sure. So how do you price them when they come in? Like,
Well, first and foremost, depends if it's easy to get or hard to get, the scarcity, the rarity. And the other key factor is condition.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the older they are, the harder it is to get mint condition. It really depends who had it and how well they looked after it.
And do you take, if I wanted to get rid of some of my old records, can we just bring them in and give them to you?
Lots of times I get some most excellent things come in as a donation.
Okay, good. And you're looking for basically almost anything.
Well,
within reason.
They have to be worthy.
I see. Okay. That makes sense. Absolutely.
That's the store, and you wandered around and saw everything, and why don't you pick something out, and we could probably spin it for you.
Yeah.
I have some of the ones I really liked, of course, were the Beatles.
Oh, I love Bob Seger. I went to see him 2 years ago. Oh my God, Bob Seger. Would you play him?
Of course I will. How about...
Here's some
one.
Beatles.
Oh my God, I had every one of those.
Got Beatlemania.
Yeah.
Twist and Shout, Canadian only title.
Oh my God, I saw all their movies.
Long
too.
Tall Sally, same thing, Canadian only title.
Yeah, let's play that one.
Something new. Beatles 6. Hard Day's
I
Night.
have that one.
I know every word.
So do
to
I.
that. Yeah.
To the Hard Day's Night?
It's been a hard
Yeah.
day's night.
Randy, can we play Hard Day's Night by the Beatles?
You bet.
Yay!
No, it's hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night, and it's been like a dog. When I get home to you, I find the things that you do make me feel alright. You know I work all day to get your money to buy you things.
You guys know this song?
Yes. My grandmother played it for me. Right here.
There we go.
Can we play side one, the second song? Yeah.
I have that at home still.
So do I.
A record player, stereo, yeah.
I actually have my dad's old system.
Do you?
Oh, that's so cool. I think we have one, but all our albums are gone. It's not hooked up anymore. And...
You do notice the difference from listening to a CD.
Big time.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't get that hummy or that.
It must be a
fuzzy sound.
warmer.
It's a much fuller sound.
Warmer sound.
Yep. Except when you fall.
We've got.
Trip.
I know.
We've got tonight.
Still the same.
Yeah, no,
Or
they're
still the same.
So, do you listen to music all day? Do you get to pick something and then just play it?
When I'm here at the store, I do tend to take over the stereo and put stuff on.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's good. It's good for the vibe of the store too,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah. Like especially when there's customers in, you want to put stuff on that might pique their interest. you know?
It'd be funny trying to read someone too, like what they're, or you're looking at where they're looking, maybe.
Yeah, and you know, kind of like what you guys did. Like they'll find something and they'll come to the front and they're like, "Can you put this on?" And
Wow.
Sure.
Yeah. Trouble is, I'd be here all afternoon bebopping around the store.
Some people are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I love music.
I think you're outgrowing. Oh. So I went to see him, and his voice is still so, and he's got to be, I don't know.
He
70?
retired, I think.
Yeah. I saw him on his last tour.
Yeah. I love him. Oh.
You always won every time you played with them.
This has been so much fun.
I like it. I'm sorry, Lois.
Yes,
Go ahead.
No, it's just it's a blast. Like goes back in time from when we're this tall, you know.
Oh, absolutely. You have music from my grandparents right down to my grandchildren's era, which is amazing.
And brand new stuff as well.
Brand new stuff.
Yeah.
I know. What I also like the fact that you can come in, you'll play a record for me, and I'll never go home.
So
All you need
They
is
might
a
not
mic.
play one for you.
I know, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been doing it since you were 9. Yeah. So anyway, if anyone wants to come to Randy's Records, how do they get a hold of you?
I'm in the phone book, and you can visit my Facebook page.
And your Facebook page.
And what are your hours?
Okay, with COVID, when I came back after the first lockdown, I kind of changed my hours now that I'm a senior citizen. And we're now open 6 days a week, and it's 11 till 4.
Okay. Saturdays, 11 to 4 as well?
Yeah, Monday to Saturday.
You have to come to Randy's Records. I had no idea what you had. I knew it was records, but...
Are you surprised by how much stuff is in here?
Yes, but you know what? That's a good thing, Randy, because you can come and get everything.
Yeah.
If you don't have it here, nobody's got it.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Okay, everybody stay very still.
Watch all new episodes of Hudson and Rex, Sundays.
So what do you do exactly?
I'm a detective.
I'm a forensicist.
I'm sort of like a cyber detective.
The bark plus the bite is one great night. Hudson and Rex, all new, Sundays 8/7 Central on City TV or stream on City TV Plus, the app, or citytv.com.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Welcome to Her Story, the journey to winning a seat at the table. I'm your host, Mary Jane Murray, and this program is a series of conversations with inspirational women with amazing stories to share. And stories are a tapestry of lifelong experiences and events. Let's explore the journey. My guest today is Kelly Ma, and she is a floral artist, a creative entrepreneur, and she is the owner and creator of The Mat and the Easel. Now, Kelly is a retired employee of the City of Owen Sound, so that was one career path, but she is also a woman of many interests and many talents. Now, she is good with numbers. That was her job. The other part of her life is that she explored step dancing for a number of years. And also she has her educational assistant credentials. And she has also developed her yoga practice. And most importantly, she rides a motorcycle. How cool is that? Now, in 2008, she took painting lessons from Peter John Reed. No, yes, I got that right. Peter John Reed. And through that experience, she has developed her skills and her talents, and she shares that with other people in the community through her art classes and her workshops. And basically what she's doing is teaching the language and the technique of painting. And we often see very accomplished women in leadership roles. But leadership can emerge at any stage and at any age and in many forms. And this is Kelly's journey. Welcome, Kelly, and thank you for taking the time to spend with us today.
Thanks, Mary Jane. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, there are so many interests, and you've had quite an eclectic collection of interests and skills and talents that you have developed along the way. But let's reflect back on your early years and the influences that surrounded you at that time.
Absolutely. I come from a family that's very deep rooted in arts and culture. My grandfather, who was born and raised in England, was a clockmaker. And he, when they came over to Canada, was the only clockmaker in Canada that actually made the wooden mechanisms himself. So one of my grandpa's clocks is actually in the Museum of Science in Ottawa. So from there, he delved into watercolor painting and was a cabinet maker as well. My father and brother both were cabinet makers, and my sister's a musician. My mom loved to sing. So all growing up, I was immersed in that without even knowing that that was a thing. That was just my lifestyle, how I grew up. So it's wonderful now reflecting on when I sit and paint. I have a box of my grandpa's paints that sit in my paint studio, my brother's furniture, my father's furniture. I'm surrounded. And I think that culture just fills my soul so much. So that's kind of, you know, part of my building blocks that got me launched into this sort of creativepreneur lifestyle that I have now.
When you were growing up, were you dabbling in art and painting and photography as a younger person?
Yes, definitely. All my life, I've been very colorful and creative. I didn't paint, though. I honestly didn't start painting with acrylics until 2008. But I did lots of other stuff. I made jewelry, I knit, I sew, I crochet. I drew pictures for my kids to color, and I always was doing something creative. And always, all my hobbies always turned into some little mini career where I was like, oh, I'm going to make earrings and sell them. So I always made my hobbies turn into money earning little projects. So it was sort of that entrepreneurial that was in me, that's always been in me, I guess, that just kind of became something that I created a business plan for myself to say, okay, I want a healthy environment for now. I don't want to keep saying, okay, in 9 years I can retire, in 8 years I can retire. I wanted to actually live my fulfilled, happy, colorful life now. So I created a business plan and took my yoga teacher training, and I self-educated myself through lots of courses and things to create the mat and the easel where I could teach painting lessons and teach yoga lessons. And it's really about providing a place of social connectivity as well as learning and sort of feeding your soul with creativity. It's that safe place to land where people know that it's a win-win for everybody when you come for a paint lesson or a yoga class with me. So I love that whole, as it built within me, so it comes together now in this career shift that I made. And it's been almost 4 years now that I've been did this career shift, which has been wonderful.
Well, I can certainly see the sunshine in your face as you talk about that. It's just, the vibrancy that's come from you in terms of the excitement of the journey that you're on now. But I see two things here. One is I see this very vibrant creative side, but your career was in mathematics and numbers, which is almost a dichotomy here of right brain, left brain happening.
Well, and that's very true. But I think while I was earning that income to support myself as a single mom with 3 kids, that was what paid the bills and kept the roof overhead. And then I started teaching step dancing. So that filled me with joy to be around, to just be able to encourage other people to do something fun and engaging in their life. So I taught step dancing for 14 years and then transitioned in that time to when I started learning how to paint. Then that became something that kind of overcame. I really wanted to immerse myself more in that. And let's face it, at some point, like my heel was sore or this was sore, and I'm like, I was painting more and more. And a lot of my students were all going off to college and university and getting married and having kids. And I'm like, okay, I think it's time for me to shift. So I shifted into the painting. And then that really consumed me to make that next shift. So yeah, for 20 years, I talked toilets and numbers and billing and collections, but that can be so wearing. And when you're such a creative, so to be able to create a career shift that's such a healthy one for me, that was an easy transition. It was scary, and I certainly have to acknowledge my courage and vulnerability and how brave I was. But it also was so important to me that I knew I had to make that happen. I had to make the shift sooner than later. And I'm so glad that I did. And I encourage anyone, woman or man, like anyone, if you're unhappy with your career choice, nowadays you just shift gears. Like no education is a bad education. So if you can shift gears to something that fills your soul and makes you happy and you can earn an income, then it's worth investigating. And there's so much help out there for that.
Well, what I'm seeing and hearing from you is that you were listening to your inner voice. Your inner voice was saying, now is the time. And so that pivotal moment that came about listening to your inner voice as opposed to listening to other voices that were around you saying, I need to take care of myself.
Yes.
And this is a journey. As you said, it was scary. It took courage. You were very brave. But I also hear the word business plan several times in the conversation. So it wasn't just a spontaneous leap out to the universe. You actually talk about a business plan. So there is some planning that goes along with this.
Absolutely. It certainly wasn't something that I could do willy-nilly. I was walking away from like benefits and things like that. I had to be very practical with my business plan to make something that could work for me. And there's lots of training out there, the Business Enterprise Center, and through the county, I did some training courses and really got well educated to make good decisions and to be confident in those decisions and to feel empowered in those decisions. And there was lots of scary days where I'm like, oh my God. And I knew people were saying, can you believe what she just did? And I'm like, but I had to. I was so compelled to live a better life for me, that was so important. And I knew that if it didn't work out, it wasn't the end of the world. Like I still have all these skill sets, right? So it's still going to be okay no matter what. So it was worth the leap of faith and trusting in myself. And I think finding my voice, like I think every day we work, and I can speak as a woman, but I think every day we have to work at finding our voice. For some people, it comes very easy. I don't think it was easy for me at all. I think I had to work really hard, and there was lots of sleepless nights, but every day my business plan still to this day evolves and changes and grows Like I'm not afraid of change. So I embrace change, and I think, okay, what am I going to learn next? Or what am I going to teach next? Or what's my next yoga flow going to be? And, how can I encourage this particular student or that student, or what technique should we learn now? So I love that it's constantly evolving. And that kind of speaks a lot for me and my personality as well, too. So it's quite a win-win for myself as well.
Well, what I hear you saying is that life is a journey, and that we need to think about the other, skills and talents that we have within us and value them, and then start to explore them. So what you did was you anchored in a career with benefits and a steady income, and then explored this other creative side for yourself, so that you could find a place where you could marry the two, and then separate them.
Yes.
Separate them. And then move forward. But what I'm hearing from you is that it's not stagnant. You're not in one, just because you left one place and you've moved into another place, it's still not stagnant for you. You're still growing. You're still exploring. Absolutely. You're still looking at what other aspects are out there, what other challenges are. And so this is a transition to a new environment, which brings you joy. I can just see it all over your face. But that's not the end of your journey.
Absolutely. Not at all. Like I said, my business plan evolves all the time, to the point that I now have a traveling mobile unit. I have a motorhome that I call Miss Daisy, and I travel and paint, and I go to campsites, but I go to people's homes and teach paint lessons as I travel, and I sit out in nature and paint. I love traveling. I think I could just keep going coast to coast in Canada and be so thrilled, because we have such a beautiful country that we live in right here. So camping to me has turned into that traveling yogi and traveling artist. And my sweet little English Springer Spaniel, Sabella, she comes traveling with me. And that's another part of my business plan that kind of launched off that side, to be able to take my skill set and go and do a retreat for someone and teach yoga and painting for people where if they can't come to me, I could come to them. That sort of thing. I love that there's always, and being inspired by other people too kind of inspires me. But if I can inspire other people to just even to try something new, like come and try a paint class, or try a yoga class and see if it's for you. A lot of people, when it comes to creativity, say, oh, I can't paint, or I can't draw, or I'm not very stretchy. But you don't need to be any of those things. You need to try, right? You just need to show up and carve that time out for yourself to take care of yourself. Whether, like, I think we hold the bar so high for ourselves that, and sometimes it's somebody way back when said, oh, that's a terrible painting, or you can't draw a stick person. So that there frames your beliefs. And it's not true. I think if you feel passionate about something, it's worth investigating at least, And I like to be able to empower people and say, feel good about yourself. Like, I hope that the people come that want to learn from me leave with a heart full of laughter and encouragement, and that tiny little tidbit that they might have walked away with, where they went, wow, I didn't know how to mix that color, and now I do. Or look at me, I've got this piece of art. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I did it, and that's what I think I'm about as far as teaching and encouraging people to grow and to just try something new, whether it's pottery or whatever. Like, try something new and get off the couch, and you know what I mean? Like, that sort of thing I think is really important to me.
Well, I think that what you've done by inspiring people to try new things, and I'm afraid that you were describing me when it came to feeling quite hesitant to put paint onto a canvas. But anyway, you are working away at my anxiety here so, to try. But I think what's happened here is you have married two things. You have married yoga and painting because they're both contemplative. They're both a time when you're in another space, another headspace. When you're painting, you can, or creating something. So when I'm creating something, I am in an entirely different headspace. That everything in the world falls away, and I'm just working on my project and thinking about it and encouraging myself and loving what I'm doing. The same with yoga. Yoga is contemplative. It's calming down. It's giving you time and space to just be your inner self. And I have a little quote here from you. It says, people need quality time to themselves, and painting or being creative and yoga do the same thing.
They definitely do. They bring and I can speak for myself that when I sit down behind the easel, that's my meditation. Like if I've been super busy and I've had to run around and do other stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't get behind the easel today. That's my meditation. So it's important for me to make that time to land behind the easel, and that does my mental check-in, right? Landing on the mat. We don't always have the time, and it's easy to like try something once and think, okay, I'm going to do that every day, and then the next day you don't, and then you don't. But carving that time out and saying, okay, for sure, every Tuesday I'm going to Kelly's to paint. So even if I don't paint all week, I know every Tuesday I'm going to paint. And you show up and you build that confidence within the community of the other students and with my support. And then suddenly you're looking forward to that Tuesday because of that community and that sense of social connectivity and the conversations. It's like the quilting bee, right? When you're sitting around the table and you're creating and you're inspiring. And that's the sort of thing that I think is so important, that I provide more than just painting lessons. It's really about that social connectivity that we really need. And I mean, let's face it, it's pretty obvious after the last couple of years that's been a missing element, and it's a critical element. So in those times where we did have to shut down, like being able to do this and be on Zoom on the computer, like my students just went, we have to keep painting. We have to stay together as a group. So Zoom it was. And even for my technically challenged ones, I did everything I could to get them to stay connected. And that was so important to me, that we stay connected and that we reach out, and we have all these beautiful friendships that have developed from that and that empower each other. Like we can be sitting around the table painting and someone can say, oh, what dog groomer do you use? Or who's a good roofer? And all that networks for each other, and we share skills and knowledge between each other in that creative time. So I think it's so much more than that. And I love being a part of it. And I love providing the safe place to land, whether it's the mat or my kitchen table, or down at Georgian Bay Center of the Arts, like people coming in there for classes. It's a beautiful, safe place to land where you can feel empowered and confident, right? To build that confidence.
Well, I think mentorship is really important. And this is what you're describing. When you are encouraging your students, when you are building that sense of community, building their confidence, giving them the space to make mistakes and oh, here's a technique on how to fix that or how to change that. Or it isn't a mistake. What is it? A happy accident, I think.
Right. Yeah, Bob Ross would call it happy accidents. I like to say, honestly, when people are like so scared to lay the paint, I'm like, just do it. It's just paint. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. There's no rules here. It's just, and you say, I don't have a technique. Sure you do. As soon as you lay paint, there's your technique. And then you start learning and growing and trying something new and building that confidence. And then you're like, look what I've done. So many of my students that have come to me are now selling their art and getting commissions. And it's like, how exciting to empower yourself. And what a beautiful tip of the hat for someone to reach out and say, would you paint a picture of my dog? Or would you paint me a picture of the Bruce Trail? And I watch my students growing and developing their own niche and techniques. And it's just so wonderful to be a part of it. And I created that by creating the mat and the easel and creating that safe place to land to learn these things. So I just love playing a role in that. I've got some of my younger students that have had their art hanging at the Artist Co-op in the youth show and selling their work there, which is so wonderful to empower them and encourage them to build a body of work. So starting from as young, like my students start from 8 and up, but empowering them feels so good to me to be able to bring laughter to the table, because that's one thing that's so important to me. I'm always playful and silly and making up silly words and terms, and laughter to me is the biggest and best medication anyone can take. So we have a little moth-orus that I created in paint class. So every time I'd have a funny word that people would laugh about, I'd write it in the moth-orus. So every once in a while, we open the moth-orus up and we read some of my silly words and we giggle and laugh. And when someone else uses a good term, I'm like, oh, that's going in the moth-orus. So we joke my name. We play off puns off my last name all the time. And I love that. I think that's part of the humor that I like to bring to the table and into life. I think we've all had to survive tragedy, and having some place where you can kind of forget all that stuff and feel good about yourself and fill your heart with laughter and compassion and joy. I mean, it's such a win-win thing, you know?
Well, you've certainly given us some wonderful words of wisdom and encouragement. And what I'm seeing and hearing from you is that the mentorship that you give to others. I usually ask the question, how does your leadership affect others? But I can see how your leadership affects others and going forward. Because when you bring so much enthusiasm to the work that you're doing, I have another little quote here that I think pretty much sums up what we've been talking about, and that is happy just pops out of art attacks. And so I think the inspiration that you're bringing to women and to your students, both male and female, is that art is emotional. Art brings out the best in all of us, and then we can put on a canvas or create a pottery or so. That you can actually find a joy in that. But I do have one, we're coming down to wrapping up the show, but I do have, I usually ask our guests what brings you joy, but we already know the answer to that one. So the other question is, do you have a saying that propels you through the day, particularly if it's a hard time or if it's a joyful time?
A saying. I don't know that I have one particular saying. I like to think that my superpower is making people laugh and empowering people. So, I mean, honestly, what you see is what you get. Like, I try and live, like walk my walk and talk my talk. I try sincerely to do that. So if I'm having a down day, which we all do, like that's when I'll put on some fun music and I'll get up and I'll move around and I'll dance, or I'll pull out my ukulele and sing one of my favorite songs, or I'll just do something that's going to fill my heart, or I'll reach out and message my kids or my close friends. So like I've got such a beautiful network around me of family and friends that I'm so blessed, and I know how blessed I am. So that's really important to me to recognize that. And I think for other people, find your superpower and really celebrate it. Celebrate yourself every day. Treat yourself something kind.
Thank you so much, Kelly. We're running out of time. But this has just been such an amazing story to share with us. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Please join us next time on Her Story, the journey to winning a seat at the table.
Thank you.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Watching hockey just got a power play with NHL Center Ice and Super Sports Pack. With up to 37 out-of-market NHL games a week, you'll always catch your favorite team no matter where you live. Whether it's big matchups you're looking for or following your top fantasy picks, it's all here. NHL Center Ice, part of the Rogers Super Sports Pack. All this for only $35.95 a month. Order through your remote on Channel 450 or call 1-888-ROGERS-1 today.
This is Rogers TV, Grey County.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hello everyone, I'm Phil Rowley and welcome to the New Fly Fisher. Today we're coming to you from Scott Lake Lodge, located in northern Saskatchewan, just a hair south of the Northwest Territories border. There's over 2 million acres of water at our disposal, full of large lake trout and trophy pike. Let's get out on the water.
Ooh, that's a nice sized fish.
I will catch these all day.
That is what you're in for on this episode.
The New Fly Fisher is supported by Tourism Saskatchewan, Orvis Fly Fishing, Adipose Boatworks, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited, WeatherTech Canada,
Despite its remote location, just a few miles below the Northwest Territories border, near the 60th parallel, some 555 miles north of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, getting to Scott Lake Lodge is pretty straightforward. After arriving in Saskatoon, I boarded our Transwest Air regional flight for the short trip from the Saskatoon International Airport to Stony Rapids. Within 2 hours, I was standing at the dock, ready to board our float plane for the final leg of our journey. Less than 30 minutes later, I had arrived at Scott Lake Lodge. I couldn't wait to get on the water. Prior to my trip, I visited the Scott Lake Lodge website to gain a measure of what I might expect. When checking out their guide team, one particular caption caught my attention. Many are called, few are chosen. It's not easy being a Scott Lake Lodge guide, as they need guides who can do more than just find fish. Their guides have to be competent navigators. After all, learning over 1 million acres of water isn't easy. They also have to be accomplished wilderness cooks, entertaining communicators, comfortable using complex GPS sounders, infinitely patient, and of course, be fun to be with. The average experience of their guide team is nothing short of impressive. I considered myself extremely fortunate to have the benefit of fishing with 3 guides during my stay: Mike Nugs Demian, Paul Pollywood Hamilton, and Greg Hammer Ham. I knew I was in good hands, as together these guides have a staggering 41 years of combined guiding experience at Scott Lake Lodge alone. This was going to be a great trip. After a few hours on the water, it soon became apparent that targeting pike in shallow bays adjacent to main lake structure, such as rocky points, drop-offs, and nearby islands, was a wise idea. Pike prowled the main lake structure, hunting for all manner of food, including lake whitefish, burbot, even each other. With the hunt complete, the pike withdrew to the shallow bays where the warmer water temperatures helped them digest while they rested before hunting again. Despite their often full bellies, it seemed the pike always had room for more food. These staging pike chased our flies at times with reckless abandon. During our trip, we also learned that not all bays were equal. Although almost every bay held fish, water temperature was key. Pike resting in cooler bays were often reluctant to chase the fly. Warmer bays, with water temperatures in excess of 60 degrees Fahrenheit, always produced. There we go. Now it's upset.
Now it's upset.
Clear the decks, clear the decks. I don't want to be standing on the fly line. Use my pinky, guide that spare line up.
Okay, keep tight.
Now I'm tight to it. And I might stick them a couple more times. Get the side pressure on them. Ooh, look at the dust clouds. Right in the side of the mouth.
36, 37.
See if I can steer them in. Later that evening, we met up with Polly to continue targeting small, warmer bays.
Right here.
Oh, I see him. Yeah, I got him, so I'm going to lead him this way. Short cast. Right up against the rocks like that. Here it comes, broadside, helpless, stupid. There it goes, he ate it.
Yeah, nice.
That's cool. Just giving him some left side pressure here to keep him out of the rocks. Because these rocks will, early spring like this, early season, I'm gonna warm up, and pike like that warm. There he is. Keep that bend in. Net out here. I was gonna grab them and then I looked, he's a little bigger. Gives you an idea of what kind of fish we can expect by the size of that net. That's a nice fish, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, look at that. What a beautiful specimen. Just gonna rest there. There she goes. Woo!
Hey, you're so right. Zach has terrible takes.
I know, right? Like, legit. Everyone makes fun of my take just because I wanted to be bold and just throw myself out there.
But also, I got to apologize quickly. I can't come back next season. Live Golf has paid me $50 million to do their sports wrap show.
The Jays do not make the playoffs.
That's it. I'm
leaving.
That's when Odell Beckham Jr. will be donning the green and yellow.
What kind of show do you want to see on Rogers TV? What interests you? Log on to rogerstv.com, fill out a show proposal, and tell us about your segment idea. We want to know what you want to see. Rogers TV, only on Rogers.
The next day, Mike and I headed back out on the water and sight fishing for big pike in the shallows. So we're just sitting on the approaches to a couple of bays here. This is one of Mike's favorite spots, and he loves it because it's shallow, it's good sight fishing water, light bottoms, and the pike, the most important thing in this whole equation, the pike love to sit in here and lay and bask in the sun. Well, something just ate. I just saw the flash of the mouth. I don't know.
He's going to take some run.
I don't know how big he looks decent. He hasn't woken up yet, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a big fish.
That's a big fish. I could see the white fly, and then I just saw the flash of the mouth. The fly disappeared, and then I felt the tension and just keep stripping. Strip set that fly right into his mouth. Unless he's a big predator, he doesn't want to let go of this. Well, she's probably more like it. There she goes into the basket. Nicely done, Mike. Woo! Look at this beauty. Just under 40 inches, right at the approaches. Big killing machine. Let's put her back and let her go. It's coming for the white streamer. Here it comes.
Fast, fast, bang.
That's so cool. Sight fishing for pike. Because on this light bottom, they stick out like little dark olive logs. And you can just watch that pike, as soon as the fly hit the water, it just turned towards the splash. And as I stripped the fly towards it, it just let it go by and then just turned onto it, followed, I stripped, I paused. Sight fishing at any time is cool, because sometimes all you see is the fly disappear. I'll let you release him, Mike. One of the most exciting ways to target shallow water pike is using flies that ride on, in, or just below the surface. The surface disturbance these flies create attracts pike from a distance. The explosive, heart-stopping takes soon become addictive. For many, it is the only way to target pike. Subsurface flies rarely, if ever, make their way onto their leaders.
Now look at those eyes right in through here. So they got these laser pointers, right? So they're looking through here, that's their gun sights.
Yeah, it's their binocular.
And then when they flare this whole thing open. When they do that, they can't even see what they're heating, so they have to flare as wide as they can to get that fish in there.
Left it for her. They're so aggressive, if you miss one, there's a pretty good chance if you just leave it and then strip it again, they'll come back and eat it. My poor Weedman slider has no tail, floats on every second or third cast if I squeeze the water out of it, but then it just rides subsurface and they don't seem to mind. These fish are in a killing frame of mind. We'll bring it into Mike and there we go.
My name is Chase Nicholas. I am a Mi'kmaq hockey player. Growing up, I always remember my family talking about the Mi'kmaq as the creators of the game of hockey. In grade 7, I did research on Mi'kmaq hockey sticks as the first sticks of the NHL. I found a Mi'kmaq hockey stick made in 1917, the same year the NHL was formed. I was surprised to find out the very stick I was holding was made by my great-great-grandfather, Alexander Cope. In 1934, an elder known as Old Joe Cope wrote a letter to the Halifax Herald claiming the Mi'kmaq created hockey. I found out later that I am a direct descendant of Old Joe Cope. There was a time when Mi'kmaq children were torn from their families and not allowed to speak their language, losing their words and stories. But the stories are coming back to us. Stepping on the ice, I take pride knowing the roots of the game of hockey stem from my ancestors in the Mi'kmaq Nation.
Hi, I'm David Sherman, host of Politically Speaking. Join me for my next show when my guest will be Sue Carleton, the mayor of Georgian Bluffs. Sue Carleton on Rogers TV. Day 3, we begin targeting lake trout. Other than early spring when water temperatures are cool, or late fall when lake trout prepare to spawn, do they gather consistently in the shallows. Many fly fishers consider catching lake trout on the fly a daunting prospect as they always seem out of range. However, if you choose the right approach for the conditions, you can catch lake trout on the fly even if they aren't in shallow water less than 20 feet deep. To target lake trout on the fly at Scott Lake, I worked with my guides using 3 primary presentation options. When wind conditions allowed us to control boat drift, we prospected deep water in excess of 40 feet. Using our sounders to mark fish, I made short casts using fast sinking lines. I then fed additional line using a series of stack mends to get the fly deep and hook fish. So we're going to try chasing some lake trout on the fly. Mike's put us in a great spot. It's protected, it's out of the wind. So what this is going to allow me to do is I'm using a fast sinking integrated line. It's got a 30-foot head that sinks at 6 inches per second, followed by this bright intermediate running line. I'm going to cast slightly downwind. Mike's going to control the boat so I can work this line straight down until it's almost hanging vertical, because we're fishing anywhere from 40 to 60, even greater in depth in feet. And then I'm just going to do aggressive 2-foot pulls, or even tuck the rod under my arm and do what we call the roly-poly and just cycle our hands in to strip that line in and just wait for that pulverizing take of these lake trout. There we go, fish on. Feels good too.
Looks good, looks good. Clear your line.
Clean the deck, clean the deck, clean the deck.
Clear your line.
Here he comes. Oh, he's nice. He's nice. There he is right at the surface. Into the basket. Yes!
Well done, sir.
Okay, fly's clear, so we'll just get that out of the way.
Let's check that line before we put it back in.
In case he's... No, feels smooth. Oh, kneel down, wet hands. Oh, pull him up out of the net. Whoa, 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 buddy. There we go. Signature, whoa, white tip fins of a char. He really wants to go. Look at him go. Just let him make sure he's good and healthy, and he's fighting me good. There he goes. Lake trout on the fly. I want to do that twice, maybe 3 times.
Let's do that a bunch more times.
Okay. Day 4. Mike and I go out again for lake trout, but this time we're targeting them in the deep water adjacent to the drop-offs. So what we're doing here is Mike has marked fish at 15 feet. We're anchored right on the edge of a drop-off here. I'm using a type 7 line that sinks at about it takes about 2 seconds to go a foot. I want to go 15 feet down, so I'm just multiplying that, 2 seconds for a foot, so I want to go 15 times 2 is 30. Count that down with my watch, and then just strip it back aggressively. 2 foot pulls. Ooh, got banged again. Speed induces the follow. And right as the fly's starting to ascend, ooh, I got bumped again. There we go, fish on. Fish on. Right at the drop. So these fish are, as Mike pointed out, it's best to fish drop-offs the same way as if you can try and get your presentation on more of an acute angle or even parallel to the drop, because they're cruising this like a wall on the deep side, ambushing any bait fish that swims along the edge. There we go, beautiful Scott Lake lake trout.
Good eating size.
Yeah. Day 5. Holly and I head out to try our luck at our 3rd primary presentation option for lake trout, river outlets. These river outlets provided cool, oxygenated water, concentrating both bait fish and lake trout. These presentation options also work well when chasing lake trout on other water bodies besides Scott Lake. So we're sitting here, we've got the falls coming out, the main current tongue, we're sitting in the slack water. So I'm going to cast down and across into the current, a little downstream bend because we're sitting in the slow water. That's going to help the line sink and swing down to about 45 degrees, let that fly and line get down, and an aggressive 2-foot strips, because the lake trout are either hanging under the current or just on this slack water, and we're fishing this little red and white whistler, and they just plow it. So here we go. There we go, right out in the main current, which only accents the whole fight. Quartering the cast down into the current. I'm sitting in the slow water, so I'm throwing a little downstream mend to help get that fly to sink using this fast sinking type 7 integrated line with an intermediate running line, and then just letting it swing along the seam, and 2-foot aggressive strips with a red and white whistler, and they're just plowing it. This is good fun. There we go. Ooh. Look at that beautiful lake trout. Beautiful settings, got the falls coming in behind me. Beautiful vermiculations. All right, let's put him back.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, like, your voice is fantastic.
Me, Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Day 6, our final day. We talked to the manager of Scott Lake Lodge, Jason Hamilton.
We've got a beautiful facility here on a 12-acre island just south of the 60th parallel. We can accommodate 26 guests at a time. We've got 14 guides, all with 18-foot guide boats ready to go. We have everything that the customers will need. Well, we've got a great kitchen crew. They're turning out meals for people. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner is fantastic. We've got a spa. You can get a massage, a hot tub, wood-fired sauna, fitness facility, and rec center, full-service tackle shop. We get asked a lot of times what the best time of year to visit Scott Lake Lodge, and truthfully, it's any time that you can get a spot here. We do have a lot of returning guests each year, and we like to think that's a testament to us doing our job well. The best time to get in touch with us is a year in advance of when you'd like to come up. We'll be able to do our best to fit you in.
After shore lunch, we headed out with Greg the Hammer to put the final nail in the coffin.
She's right behind you.
Yeah, I see her. Yes,
Yeah.
she did.
Oh, there we are.
That was incredible. Whoa, there she goes. There she goes. I'm always worried when they do this because they could suddenly surge, but we're gonna get them in the bucket. There we go. Oh, look at that. How's that for a pike? Big old girl, a few little scars on her nose. They're just coming out of spawn. What a beautiful fish. All right, let's let her go. There she goes, swimming strong, off under the boat. Wow, what an incredible fish and an unbelievable experience. If lake trout and big northern pike are on your bucket list, you have to come to Scott Lake Lodge. I hope you enjoyed today's show, learned a little bit more about catching lake trout and big northern pike on the fly. For more information on this episode and other episodes in our series, please visit us on the web at thenewflyfisher.com. And don't forget to follow us on our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll see you next time.
The New Fly Fisher is supported by Tourism Saskatchewan, Orbis Fly Fishing, Adipose Boatworks, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited, WeatherTech Canada,
call the Rogers TV viewer response line. Email us or connect with us on social media.
Do you have something to share? Let everyone know about your next meeting, your need for volunteers, or your fundraising event on the Rogers TV Community Billboard. Send us your words and we'll bring them to life on Rogers TV and rogerstv.com. When it's time to spread the word, go to rogerstv.com to add your announcement to the Community Billboard.
Wednesdays on City TV.
I guess it's just another day in the ED, huh? Get ready for what comes next.
Ready? Let's do this.
That's what we train for. Go with them, get everything you can get.
Stop firing at police! We got runners headed for the west exit!
Hit them fast. Chicago Med, Fire, and PD. All new episodes Wednesdays on City TV. What a night. Or stream on City TV Plus, the app, or citytv.com.
At St. John Ambulance, we're all about community. We teach life-saving skills and provide community support through our volunteer services. All St. John Ambulance product sales and training registrations support these important services. Volunteer, donate, or enroll in a program today so we can continue to have an impact on our community. Visit sja.ca to learn more. At St. John Ambulance, we do more than save lives, we change lives.
Lovely viewers, it's your host of On the Couch, Antoine El Hashim, reminding you to tune in for every episode of Season 9 of the longest running and most loved local queer talk show on Rogers TV. Check it out.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
What's up? I'm your host, Sharon Skelly, and today we're talking all about the Owen Sound Artist Co-op. And with me, we have Kelly Ma, and Kelly is the chair of the board of the co-op. And Don Sankey is a board member, but they're also both very talented artists. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you.
I guess today we'll talk all about the co-op. There's so much to talk about. I haven't had anyone on the show to talk about it for quite a while, so we'll catch up on all the news. And there is quite a bit of news because you've expanded with a couple new sections, or I guess you call departments, in the co-op. There's been some new members in there, and you've got some new talent in there. You've expanded the age groups that are members of the co-op, so it's quite exciting. And it's always a great group of people to come in and talk on the show. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
I guess we can, for viewers that aren't familiar with the Artist Co-op, I guess you can start by, whoever wants to address this, the history of the Owen Sound Artists Co-op. Who wants to talk about that?
Well, we are going to get Don Sankey to talk about that. He is our president of the board and has been a long time member and from the beginning of the co-op. So Don will be able to speak to that.
Oh.
Yes, we are entering our 28th year, and I'll take people back a bit. The formation of the co-op started before there was a small store on Main Street, 2nd Avenue, called Makers. And there were a few of the local artists that had a shop. And then Heritage Mall was created, and Cadillac Fairview, and one of their community policies was to offer store space. And so Makers went up there, but they were having difficulty. And so the co-op, we looked at it through the Grey County Arts Council. And they were very active in the 1980s and 90s, the Arts Council. And so they created the first co-op. And unfortunately, there were some problems and they had to close down. So there were about 20 of us that met in the old courthouse one summer in 1994, and we all voted to try to run the store on our own. And so in the fall of 1994, we set up the Artist Co-op. And we still have a few members that are still with us. Over the course of 28 years, we've moved a few times, as you know. Heritage Mall, we left there and went up to Grey County Mall.
I remember
we were across
that.
from the cinema up to about year 2000. And unfortunately, that mall was going to be closed. And then we ventured downtown, and I'll give full marks to Lee Greaves, who had the Chicago building on 10th Street.
Yeah.
And Lee offered us a 3-year conditional lease, and she renovated the property to suit us. And so we had a number of good years there. And then lo and behold, our resting spot right now is the McKay Village, the McKay Building, I should say.
Yeah.
And in each location has been good, but downtown on Main Street is excellent. We've, and I know Kelly will talk about it. All I can say in the 28 years, the last 3 or 4 years, even with the pandemic, people shop locally and they support the local artists. We're very, very proud to be part of the artistic culture of downtown Owen Sound.
Yeah, thanks, Don.
Yeah, it is nice to have it downtown. I mean, a lot of people like to shop in there, and I think almost everybody I know has items from the co-op in their home, or wears them, or eats some of the products from there. I mean, it just seems to be, you expect them on your birthdays or holidays, like, what did I get from there? It's on their lists. It's just, it's part of the culture here. It's just been here for so long that it's just part of the shopping experience. And like you say, supporting the local artists to be able to, I don't know if they can make a living off of it, but hopefully support them in making a living.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we really are a destination location for people coming from the city. And we have regular customers that have been coming for years that have cottages in the area, or just come for a drive up to Owen Sound to see what's new at the Artist Co-op. And because we have different guests every month and something exciting happening in the Legacy Gallery every month, there's always something new, and the artists are always changing their work up and bringing in new things. And so there's always something happening, which is really exciting.
It's really interesting. Like, I'm just thinking personally, when you buy jewelry now, you think, oh, it's hard to go out and buy jewelry that isn't, custom made by a local jeweler. Instead, that's what you just think of doing.
Right.
You'd rather pay a little bit more and do that. That's just
you get something unique and one of a kind. And that's what we love, is when people say, hey, who made your earrings? Those are beautiful.
Yeah. Well, they're from Morag, or,
exactly.
Just because that's, and you've supported someone in their work.
Exactly.
That's great. So as I said, there are some new things that you've tended to introduce into the co-op, and one of them is, well, it's maybe not new, but a food section or a food gallery. And how long has that been there?
I guess we're about 3 years. About 3 years. And Birgit was here and had her restaurant in the back, and then when she shifted next door, we started the food gallery and brought in some wonderful local vendors, and we've become a go-to location for those products that we carry now, which is terrific.
So what kind of things could someone expect to find if they were, say someone had never been to the co-op and they're thinking, an artist's gallery, and I'm going to find food? Like, what kind of things do you find?
Well, we've got Campbell Mountain Coffee. We have Georgian Bay Soap Works. I can look over the rail because I'm at the co-op. We have
honey, and we have maple syrup.
Yeah, and hot sauces and
chocolate.
Who doesn't love all? I mean, you've just mentioned everything that we all love.
Yeah, Big Mama's has her hot sauces, the Collingwood Olive Oil Company, Donald's Honey, Georgian Bay Soapworks, Ironwork Coffee. We can hardly keep it on the shelf. It's so popular. So if you're a real coffee connoisseur, come on down. Liquid Gold beeswax food wraps we carry here. Yeah, lots of chocolate. Oh, we have Theo's chocolate. We have the Valley Alchemist, so you can get specialty teas. Wolf River Farm. So all these beautiful local vendors that are artists with food.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good point.
Well, that's worth a stop. And like you say, some of it you can't even keep on the shelf.
That it's so true. Like, it's so true.
Wow. And with the loss of the Bleeding Carrot, who carried some things too, they had to find.
Yeah, I think so. And some people are at the market and sometimes they can't make it to the market on a Saturday. So we're kind of this little hub of specialty foods that would be similar to what you'd find at the market.
Well, isn't that great? I love to hear that.
Yeah.
And when you come into the co-op, there's art of everything you can imagine. Like there's ceramics, there's wood, there's fabric. Well, there's just there's photography, of course.
Photography, painting.
I mean, we've got two wonderful artists right there. Kelly, your painting is just fabulous. And you've got the photography covered there. I mean, there's just everything. And the jewelry, oh my gosh. But, and the fabric, I imagine that's, so, I mean, there's nothing you can't find there. And then you've got all ages covered. So can you tell me a little bit about this next generation that you have, this project?
Yeah, thank you. That was started by one of our members. Jana started this project for next generation artists. And it was sort of bringing it back. We did have it years ago, but it hadn't been launched in the McKay building where we are now. So Jana spearheaded that, and we've had great success really encouraging our youth to become active, to create bodies of work, and they're selling their work, and we have a designated space for them. They will have a space to have their own Christmas show from anyone that's been a guest this year from the next generation. And it's wonderful to see them create a body of work. They have to professionally prepare it to hang, so it's hang ready. So they're learning a little bit more than just creating a piece of art. They're learning how the process is to pay a commission on a sale, and how to create their own little business with their product. So it's wonderful. It is
in
wonderful.
Addition to the next generation, we have a student art show every May, and we encourage students from the local high schools. Because of the pandemic, we had to delay it a couple of years. But this year we had about 75 entries, and it's wonderful to see the talent that is out there. And for us, we're offering a place for the young people to show their work, but we also have potential customers as their parents come in, their relatives, and hopefully future members. One of the drawbacks for the co-op is we're an aging population. And so there are a few of us that are approaching the end of our artistic years, and we're hoping to be replaced by the next generation. So there is a method in our madness.
Well, yes. I mean, I've seen some really talented youth. I mean, even kids in grade 6 and 7, some of the art they can produce. And I mean, high school kids are extremely talented. And I mean, I'd love to hang some of their art on my wall. So, I mean, children can be really talented right from, school age, like younger elementary school. And we really need to encourage them. And as you say, if they want to pursue that as a career, there's more than just the art. They have to know the business too. If they want to be successful and make a living out of it. So they have to know how to do the business end for themselves. So, not to be taken advantage of. They want to be independent. They have to know how to do it. And what a great way to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'd be the people to teach them.
Yeah, well, some of my students have been hanging their art here. So that's an extra bonus to me that I feel so proud that I'm like, oh, it's one of my students. I'm so excited for them. And when they have some sales, it's great. And as an art teacher, I like to really support all my students. So a lot of them bring their work into the March Miniature Show because that's an open show for anyone to bring in pieces of art, anything 6 inches, 6 square inches, size, so it's miniatures obviously, and it's been a really popular show here at the Artist Co-op for many years now.
Now, I know what the miniature show is, and it's a great opportunity for anybody who wants a piece of art that doesn't have a lot of money to own a piece of art and have it in their home, no matter how humble it is. So can you just describe what that is for people that don't know what the miniature show is? We just brought it up.
So it's anything 6 by 6 or smaller in any medium. So, and anybody can come in and bring their art in. It's $10 for 3 pieces, and you can replace them as they sell for no charge. We take a commission. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head what it is, 30 or 35%. I don't know if you remember, but anyways, we do take the Artist Co-op takes a commission. But we have lots of great sales, and it can be pottery or a fabric, painting, watercolor, woodwork, any form of art. It can be any form of art. So it's a very popular show that we have. And in the last few years, we've extended it to be March and April. So that's something that's really fun to have something to work towards over the winter. If you're stuck inside a little bit, then start doing some creating and create your own little body of work and bring it into the March Miniature Show. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I love it. It's really fun, and you see so many great pieces of work in that show.
Yeah,
and
right now we're setting up the Legacy Gallery today for the Christmas show. So it will run for all of November, December, and it's all of the Artist Co-op members, plus anyone that has been a guest member here this past year. And I think, is it open to every year? I think it's whenever you've been a past for this year guest artist, you can bring in some special Christmas items. And the members all tend to pull out all the stops and create something new and exciting and fresh for these shows. So it's worth popping in to see what's happening for the Christmas show, especially now that Christmas is fast approaching and you want to get good selection. So there'll be lots of really terrific stuff in the Legacy Gallery.
Now this is for sale.
Correct.
For sale. Yeah. Okay. So it starts, you said, on December.
No, it's November. Well, starting today. They're preparing the show today, and it goes for all of November and all of December.
Okay. So and you said who is going to be participating in that?
So that's all the Artist Co-op members that are current members, and then everyone that's been a guest member for this year. So we have lots of guest members. They're all invited to bring their work in. And the next generation students, they'll have their own space to have their own Christmas show hung as well.
Oh, isn't that nice that they get to participate too?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me about this guest artist program you have.
You want to go ahead?
Well, both of us can. It's a program that's developed over time, right? From when we were on 10th Street, because we've always had people interested in becoming a member in the artistic community. They know this is a good venue to show your work and sell. How do you get in? Well, we have 45 artists and space is limited. And so one of our controls is the guest artist. Before you could be considered a member, you should at least have spent 1 month in the guest artist. So we've looked at it over time about fees and that, because depending on the media and how much you're selling it for, it's what the artist has to determine. But in the last 2 to 3 years, usually we have 3 artists. We try to get a variety, and they're right up front, and they love it. And we have repeat ones too. If they can't become a member over the course of the year or 2, they will come back as a guest. So we make a bit of money from it, but we also highlight talented local people. You can add to that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the best way to kind of streamline your work to see if you'll be a fit in the gallery and And like I said, we have multiple guests that can sometimes stay 1 month or 2 months, depending. You'd have to reach out to the Artist Co-op if you're interested in pursuing that. There's applications at the front desk that you could come in and show us your work and talk to the members that are working here to find out if you'd be a good fit. But we'd love to have you bring your art in and show us what you do and see if you'd be a good fit to be a guest artist here. It'd be wonderful. That's how I got started. I was a guest artist.
Oh.
And I kept coming back saying, can I be a guest again? And they're like, back then it was like once a year. And then a wall space opened up and I said, I really want to be a member. So I was selected. They jury select. The guest artists are jury selected and members are jury selected. So I was fortunate enough to be jury selected in as a member. So yeah.
Now, do you have to be from Grey County or what's the geographical area to be a member?
Well, we try to keep it local because you must do a shift. And to be a member of the co-op, you must do one shift a month, a 3-hour shift. And we're encouraging every member to participate in on committees. Like we have the board of directors, plus we have a number of committees. And we've been really encouraging. It hasn't been the easiest task to get everyone to participate, but it's been working much better lately. Thanks to Chairman here. Our board meetings are very smooth. We actually have one of the best boards that I've seen in many of the organizations I belong to. This is a very effective. It is. It's a very effective board, and the members really trust us with money and policies. And we run a good ship.
We do. And we have a new manager, Ann Patterson, who just started just a little over 3 months ago. So we're really excited to have her as the command here in the store. So if you come in, please ask if Ann's here and introduce yourself. She's lovely and brings so much expertise to our store. And it's an important role as the general manager to kind of have your finger on the pulse of what all 45 artists are doing, plus the guests, plus the shows.
Right.
So it's a really exciting role, and we're really thrilled to have Ann as our general manager.
Well, you're fortunate because you do need someone.
Yeah, we are. And I think, in my humble opinion, what makes us so amazing is that all the artists are working shifts here. You come in and you meet the artists. So a lot of galleries don't have that. They have just, lots of beautiful art, and I appreciate that. But one of the little nuggets of goodness in the Artist Co-op is that you come in and you meet the artists that create the work. And often you can be working a shift and someone will buy something like a Don Sankey photo and you're like, I know Don Sankey, he's amazing. Do you know Don Sankey? That's amazing. And we do that with all our artists. We're very supportive, and we all try to have some history of all the members, so we can share that with the people that come in to support us by buying our art.
Oh, that makes a difference. It really does.
Yeah.
So how is the gallery funded? How do you make money to run, pay for the lights and all of that?
Well, we, as members, we all pay a fee and we pay commission on our sales. So,
and is there any, do you have government grants or anything like that?
No, we've done it on our own. Since I've been involved with it for 28 years, I mean, we started way back in the 90s. If we were trying to gross 100,000 and pay out, a good chunk to the members, and that, and in 20 years, it's
always managed,
and we've done quite well. We don't need government assistance. We love the loyal support from the customers, and our sales are increasing. And we're entering the part of the prime time, Christmas time, November, December. We sell a lot of art.
We do. And we're so thrilled, and we support all of our artists here, and like people coming in to buy mugs or buy jewelry or a beautiful gift of art. We have over 15 members that sell greeting cards. We are a hub for greeting cards, which is wonderful. And yes, people still mail cards, and thank goodness they do, because an email's one thing, but receiving a card in the mail still is so important. And it's a real popular place to come and get unique, original pieces like that.
Yes. And people still frame cards.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
A beautiful card, you don't throw it in the trash, you keep them. They're beautiful.
It's art.
Yeah.
It is, it's art. I know I do. I don't like to throw away a beautiful card. It's just something about it. Well, now, like you said, this is the busiest time of year. So when are you open?
Oh, good question. We have holiday hours that have come up.
But overall, 7 days a week.
We're open 7 days a week, and we'll be open late, I think, 2 weeks before Christmas. So we're part of the Holiday Magic Festival of Northern Lights, November 19th. That's a night. We're open that night, and December 9th for Midnight Madness. We're part of that for the downtown extravaganza that a lot of the stores are involved with. And then we're 7 days a week, and you can see that on our website for the holiday hour shift.
So did COVID affect you very much, or what kind of effect did COVID have on the co-op?
Oh, for sure it did. And I mean, I think for every small business, it was quite terrifying at the beginning. The feeling was that we might have to shut down, that we wouldn't be able to survive being closed, but we rallied and we did some online sales. We did curbside sales. We kind of just rolled with the punches like everybody else did. And our support with our customers is bar none, really. Like, we're so grateful for our return customers. And that's what kept us afloat, was our loyalty in our customers. So we have a loyalty appreciation that we started a little while ago, that you fill out a ballot, and every member donates a piece of their art, and you could win something every month from one of our artists as a loyalty thank you to everyone that's come in and supported us. I mean, we're always so grateful once we open back up, and we're like, okay, whatever capacity, we were, willing to work around it and do what we had to do. So we're really grateful that we've got such a loyal clientele base. So we survived it, and we're grateful to come out of it strong as 45 members, and a lot of them are full-time artists. So that was definitely a stressful time, and we're super grateful to feel like we're hopefully on the other side of it, but happy to still be here.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
So we have a few minutes left, but I'd just like you to both tell me or tell our viewers, a little bit about your art, what you do. So Kelly, can you start and tell us a little bit about what you are doing with your art form?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for asking. Well, I teach painting lessons and I teach yoga. So I used to work corporate and left that corporate field to pursue my art full time and to kind of create a safe landing place for people to come to my home and to learn about art and yoga. So I paint every day. That's my passion. So when I'm not teaching, I'm painting. And I paint with acrylic. And about a year ago, I started painting with watercolor. So I really enjoy those two mediums, seem to be where I'm at right now. I consider myself a floral artist. I love painting flowers, but I am certainly not limited to that. I paint anything and everything. And I might paint the clothes I'm wearing or the door that I close on my house, whatever. I paint everything. And whether it's the subject or the substrate, I'm painting it. I love to camp. So when I go camping, I paint and get inspired by nature. So that's sort of my, what excites me and I'm passionate about. Lots of bold colors and just that fun of creating and then sharing my passion with my students.
And Dawn, you're a photographer. We have about a minute left. So what can you tell
Well, I've been interested in photography right from high school. And I love the photography. I'm quite an outdoor educator. taught school for 40 years and did a lot of canoe trips and camping trips. We travel now in my retirement, I'm traveling the world. So the camera is always part of me. It's my, next to my wife, the camera is my next best friend. And so she'll get me on that one. But before you go, I just wanted to highlight where we are downtown is excellent. We have the Georgian Bay Arts Center beside us, and we have Brigette's Coffee Shop. And this block is healthy, and we business people work together. And it's gratifying to have the coffee shop, so people are having coffee. They come in, buy art, and sit outside. So it's a great partnership.
Well, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for sharing your stories from the Artist Co-op. And join us once again from Community Close-Up. Bye from Rogers TV, and stay safe. COVID's not done yet. Bye for now.
Call the Rogers TV Viewer Response Line. Email us or connect with us on social media.
Don't forget to tune in to Grey County Life on Rogers TV next week.
We will probably give you an update on Charlie's ticket situation. And I think Jackie's coming.
I'm a homicide detective. I follow the evidence and I arrest bad guys.
Help me put these two animals in prison for the rest of